Hi, and welcome to The Leader's Edge. It is almost a badge of honor to be busy these days. We are all scheduled to the hilt. By this, I am in no way belittling the sheer quantum of things that we almost do sometimes. However, amidst the busyness, what are the things we are doing that can make a real impact? This is what we are talking about today with Marc Jardine. MD at RBC TT, and it's on the topic of not too busy to care. So, as usual, I will invite Georgia in a second to introduce Mark properly. And before I do so, I just want to, we always have this awareness question for you. So, outside of your work and family, what are the things that you are doing or that you can do that can make a real impact on others, on the community? Give yourself a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, whatever you think you're doing, if you think you're doing enough. And while you do that, I'm going to turn you over to Georgia so that Mark can take us on this journey of not too busy to care.
Thank you very much, Emily. Good morning. Marc Jardine, it's wonderful to have you on the show with us this morning. Do you know
Morning.
I woke up a little extra early this morning? I said, I really need to get this one right because we're talking about not being too busy to care. And I wanted to make sure that I was not too busy to get up in time so that we are ready for this show. So, folks, we have Marc Jardine with us, and this gentleman is busy, but he has taken the time to spend some time this morning with us to talk about caring. And Mark is the managing director and VP commercial banking of RBC. And guess what he does in his spare time sometimes? He watches birds. Now, where do you find time to watch birds, Mark? We're going to talk about that. You're going to talk about ornithology. Some of you may never have heard of that. So go check it out now. What is ornithology? But Mark is also a husband and he's a father of two boys. Where does he find time to care? So, Mark, when we talk about all of the targets that you have budgets to balance, you have goals, all these things, but yet you stop to spend time to think about people and care about people. Are you a unicorn, Mark? Talk to us about that.
Uh, Morning, everybody. Thanks for taking the time this morning. Unicorn furthest thing from. I think it is more about how I try to center myself, how I grew up, understanding what I think leadership is and the leadership journey, and the fact that to Emily's question, are you doing enough? I never I've ever thought I am doing enough on the side of support and caring, because you can always do more because you evolve as a person. As a leader, you are designed to do the what, the analytics, the performance, managing your team, but then the how. The how is really how you define yourself as a leader. And a successful leader can be seen as somebody that does the what really well. An empathetic leader, what I consider a true leader, somebody who's there to lift people around them, is somebody who focuses on the how as well. And I wouldn't say you always give them equal weight. It's based on the environment and it's based on the time as well.
Mhm.
But you have to balance it and you have to make it true to form. It's not a picture perfect journey. You're not there for Instagram and LinkedIn to make yourself look like some sort of
Not doing it for the
Nobel
likes.
laureate or whatever. No, I
Hmm.
actually don't like that at all. Um, it's about using your position for strengthening yourself and people around you. So
Mm-hmm.
that is where you make time for that, right, Georgia? You
Right.
make time for what is important to you, and
That's true.
so that's what I try to do.
That's true.
So
But Mark, you
using
not only do it, sorry, you not only do it for the people in your circle in at work. Yes, I
No,
think that's where you wanted to go. You do it
yeah,
outside.
yeah, I wanted to say, well, using your position for, you said the to improve the people around you, and
hmm
I'm curious, yeah, how are we doing that when we link that to not too busy to care? Because obviously, you have to do your work, you have to
yeah.
you have to manage your family. So these two things are there. But what are the things that you are doing that falls into that other bucket for the others, Mark?
Um, you have to start with being observant, right? You have to understand the ecosystem that's around you, how you view the ecosystem, how the people in the ecosystem view you, right? So you have to take that positioning and just be open to discussion. For me, I've always focused on, assisting young men to deal with situations that we have as a society. A lot of it comes from, I would say, a lack of true mentorship, a lack of support, a lack of understanding how to manage young men. For me, I was quite a firecracker growing up, so I understand the issues that young men can get into and how people see them. But for us to really care, you have to dig deep. You have to be able to highlight, all right, where do I want to focus? Because you can't focus on everything. You'll
That's true.
burn yourself
That's true.
out. So for me, there's always been young men, either through Fatima College, either through basketball, or people. After a while, people gravitate towards you, and people ask for mentorship. People ask for support, and then you also see I would say opportunities to develop individuals out there. So you have to give up yourself and jump straight in.
Right.
For work, you set aggressive goals. You always have targets for the office. These goals don't go away, and for you to achieve them, your team has to be enabled in that front. And you use that same sort of skill set that you're trained to do to enable young people around you and provide that support.
Right. So,
Because
Mark, are you saying that you
yeah,
don't have to wait for formal and official systems to help people? Because you're not
no,
talking about a formal mentorship program here.
no, that's the
What we're
that's
talking
the
about?
that's the furthest thing from, right.
Yes.
You take your time. I mean, you can see what's going on around you. You can reach out to organizations. You can reach out to people. You can reach out to schools. You can reach out to, I mean, there are multiple channels. You just take it upon yourself. If you want to make that change, if you want to be a catalyst in that front, do it on your own time.
Yeah.
Right.
So talk to us about what it is you have been doing, like with the young men at Fatima. Sometimes, like I guess I'm curious about the amount of time it actually takes, and
Yes.
what you like. Give us an example. So if somebody's watching on and they're like, huh, how? Okay, let's see a real example, so maybe they could see how they could fit this in,
So
and
Right.
with so
what they can do for themselves.
so with Fatima, you take it from a micro and a macro perspective, right?
Uh-huh.
You work with the Old Boys Association as to how they, I guess, tie into the direction of the school and the Holy Ghost Fathers. That is how I was introduced to it, because they did a lot for me when I was attending the school with Father Gregory. So I will do a lot for them, and that takes the form of, make sure you align corporate sponsorship. Make sure you take the time to be present as an adult man in the school
Yes.
at events, at games. Take the time to speak to these gentlemen when you see opportunities. Again, you have to, somebody can't present it to you on a plate, as Jordan was saying. So you have
Yes.
to be able to see it. So you take the opportunity to talk to the individuals when they're there. You make sure you are present and display yourself as a strong male figure in that environment. At times, the school also does reach out for key points in support and mentorship. I mean, they keep those things very, very private, which I appreciate entirely.
Yeah.
And that is how you approach it from a macro and a micro perspective. So you have to be structured. You have to be structured and very crisp in that approach. You know what you want to achieve and how much are you willing to give. So the corporate side, I mean, you can do a lot. With regards to the individuals, that's where it takes a lot out of you. You get down into the muscle there for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Mark, you know what? I'm picking up something, and Emily, guess what I'm picking up, Mark? I'm seeing a correlation between your environmentalist side, your bird watching side, because a bird watcher has to look at his or her environment, be very aware and present of their environment. And that's what you're doing in the community. You're being aware and present and looking for opportunities. Tell me if I'm right.
No, yeah, you have to be aware and understand that the environment changes all the time as well, right?
Yes.
So you have to be on the ball. You have to be on the ball, and you have to be again willing to make a change, and that change is not through smiling and pictures and
Mm-hmm.
taking the photo ops where necessary. It's about you
Right.
giving of yourself, and that is what I think we need to see a lot more of: the authentic drive and the authentic depth into building relationships and providing support and providing mentorship, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is where you make a real change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you say to leaders out there who are watching Mark? So it's all well and good to say, yes, you do this, you spend some time with the young men, you give back, you care. But in the end, what is it really doing? Because people want to know. I give my time. And then what?
I don't know if that's a trick question. You give up your time and you will see results.
Okay.
It's not about I guess gaining points or anything like that. It's understanding that what you do and how you do it has a direct impact on our life as individuals, right?
That's
And that person, it's like the multiplier accelerator effect. It will grow. That sort of
yeah.
energy does grow, because growing up you knew who was there to support you, to mentor you, albeit informally, formally, however you want to look at it. But you don't forget those things. You don't
Right.
forget the support that's given to you,
Yeah.
especially when you did not have to ask for it.
That's
So it's that is the sort of energy you want to put out there. That is the sort of engagement you want to put out there, and that is for the office as well as externally, because it's important. Because in a corporate environment like this, you are interacting with people internally and externally that have quite a lot of resources and influence and impact.
yes.
So if you can realign that sort of framing into a more hands-on, direct, and actionable framework, you can do a lot of I would say positivity in that realm very quickly
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Well, I mean,
amazing.
yeah, I think, I mean, Mark, I mean, in your position, I suppose if you take it from the corporate side, we all have the corporate social responsibility stuff that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and one of the words you said is authentic. So yes, some of these things are done for the camera and for the image that we want to create, but it goes beyond that. And that is what,
Yeah.
when we talk about not too busy to care, it's the real care and the willingness to give of self. Sometimes money is easy to give.
Yeah.
And maybe we could give more of that too sometimes.
Yes.
But it's
Yes.
easier to do that than it is to give the time. So, where are we giving the time? Can we give some more time? I mean, I think you were mentioning young men in particular, and I know we have some programs out there that are catering for young men, and I think sometimes we focus a lot on girls and women, and I think we forget the boys and the men, and we need both of
Mm-hmm.
us, both sexes to be strong
Hmm.
to have a good society. So I think this is a call. What I'm hearing, to all of the men out there, whatever position you're in, you got there because people helped you,
Hmm.
Yes.
right? And if people
Correct.
helped you, how are you helping others? And if people didn't help you enough, you know what? You still got there. So how can
Yes.
you help? Give the help that you didn't get.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Be the person that you wanted some,
Yes. Yes.
for
Yeah.
others, right? So
So.
that we can strengthen our society. We talk a lot about the breakdowns, and this is a way. These are simple things that we can try to incorporate more diligently, more
Yes.
intentionally, to make a real difference in the lives of a couple people, and it's a ripple effect. Once you
It
make
is.
a positive change in one person, it's a ripple. They will ripple on to others, and it can cascade. Yeah, and
Correct.
that's really what. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Mark.
that's the difference between performative and I guess purposeful presence, right? So
Yes.
the performative, I mean, we're in the corporate world, you always need some of that.
Of
So
course.
that you can't knock that, because at the end of the day, Emily, funding is a critical aspect of
Right.
future development, and ensuring resources are allocated properly.
Absolutely.
But as an individual, that is where the purpose comes from, being very intentional in your approach to things, being very intentional in what you want to achieve and how you want to achieve it, by giving, again, everything boils down to giving of yourself, right?
Yes.
If it's your way of balancing the equation and thinking, all right, at the end of the day, I want to achieve X. How do
Mhm.
you achieve that? And it's easy to do it again in a corporate realm. Easy to achieve your numbers, easy to get that scope. But there's that spirit inside of you that needs to be fulfilled as well. You need to hit those targets, those internal targets,
Mhm.
those altruistic targets. And you have to really use the same sort of energy and create a framing on how do I feel good about myself and what I do.
Right.
So it's not by luck and chance. You have to really have a shift, and take accountability on yourself. All right, I am going to have a direct impact on how many people.
That's really
Understand how you're going to achieve it.
mm-hmm.
You volunteer with intention. You volunteer with a sort of spirit and understanding of, I want to be the change. I want to be the person that has a direct impact on the people around me. And you do that by choosing, I guess, causes that you align with internally, right?
Mm-hmm.
For
Yeah.
me, it's always been, again, basketball, supporting Fatima young men, and environmentalist sort of activity. I always thought I would have been either an ornithologist or a National Geographic photographer, a
Uh,
vet, something along those lines. But
It's never
the
too late,
first two were
Mark.
not.
Never too
Nah,
late.
it is too late.
well,
Trust me, it is too late. I mean, I love it. I spend my entire day, I would say, in the bush on Saturday,
Wow.
and you're doing it, and you appreciate Trinidad for what it is, the nature, and you realize that's part of your core. And there's so many people that do not have that fragment in them, only because they were not exposed to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, your mind is running on, how do I increase that exposure? Because the only thing that could come out of that, other than some mosquito bites and some ants and the occasional snake, it's just positive
Mark,
energy
please, the
coming out of it,
occasional snake.
understanding and appreciating. Oh, come on, man. You must see it. You're in the bush.
in the bush, in the bush
Okay,
in
that's where you
Fairbanks.
lost. That's where you lost me. That is where you lost me, Mark.
Well, I think he was getting to the appreciating of the nature.
Okay, okay, but you lost me there.
Yeah.
No, but it's so true, Mark. It is so
Yeah.
true. But so, Mark, if you were to spend the last 30 seconds of this conversation to speak to one person who is watching or listening to us, speak directly to that person and give them a tip how to care
Um,
outside of their family circle.
How to care.
and I
Outs-
won't call any names.
Outside of their family circle.
Outside of the family circle, how to care by observing, care by understanding and listening first and foremost, and be persistent in the approach. People aren't, especially Trinidadians, we are very prideful people. So looking at support and mentorship sometimes may not rub people the right way. You have
Okay.
to take the time. You have to communicate where the recipient is the one that you're trying to get through to. Delivery and receive, two different animals. So you
Yes,
have to
yes.
change your scope. You have to be committed to it, because at the end of the day, if you're investing your time and energy in a relationship with somebody to support and mentor them,
Mm-hmm.
your presence and stability is key to it.
Yes, I love that.
Continuous presence and stability. You need to be somebody that they can rely on. You need
Mm-hmm.
to be somebody that they can communicate with, and a safe point, because if you pull that rug, you go, the person is going to be in a worse off state than they started in, right?
Yes. Yes.
And even with, you do the same thing for the office, for the kids, for relationships, that you have to be that person. It's not always an equal sort of balance. Sometimes it's overweighted on your side because you are the empathetic leader. So it's not going to be a 50-50. Sometimes it's a 90-10, but
Yeah.
sometimes it might be 10-90. So be that strength, be that maturity inside of there.
Like, I like that. I really like that, Mark. And it's the willingness to take that step
Yeah,
and then be
correct.
consistent. Yes, and a solid support. Love it. Emily, over to you to wrap.
Yeah, so Mark, I mean, I just want to say thank you before, for spending the time with us, taking the time to care, and
Yes.
and giving there's some life for us here in Trinidad and Tobago and the region, and for whoever that's listening, in whatever scope that you are. I think sometimes, we all probably want to or could aspire to make the place that we leave the space in a better shape than we found
Mhm.
it, and
Yes.
curious about how you can do that. So Mark is passionate about mentorship. He's passionate about people. He's passionate about all of these things that make him this empathetic leader, um, and gave us some good tips in terms of how we can do that. And you touched on something very important, Mark, and it's the fulfillment piece. I think a lot of times we are so ambitious. We get to certain situations. We get ourselves up the ladder, wherever the ladder is, on whatever wall it's at, we climb it. And we get there and we look back and we're like, okay, what now? So the
Mhm.
what now might be the little pieces that I always say that could be missing, and it could be things like this. So if you
Yeah,
are thinking what now,
Mhm.
think about how you can spend that time really making an impact in the lives of others and
Yes.
changing the trajectory of people around us,
hmm,
and supporting our community, society in that way. And let's see what happens when we do that. Let's look for the results. As Mark said, be intentional about
Yes.
who you want to impact, what you want to impact, what cause is there to you, and make sure and be consistent. Make sure and be
yeah,
consistent, right? Show
Yes.
up, show up, show up.
Yeah.
all the
And
time.
tell us about it when you do. Tell us about it, when you get in touch with someone and you're doing something, mentorship, whatever it is, let us know. Drop us a
Yeah,
note and we'll
for
share
sure.
that with you, Mark. Yes, we'll share that with you.
All right.
Wonderful. Enjoy the rest of your day.
For sure. Thanks a lot, Emily,
All
Jojo.
right.
Fantastic start on Monday. So thank
Yes,
you all for that.
lovely.
Have a good one.
Bye,
Take care.
Sam. Bye. Um,
Oops. Eh, we didn't tell him to stay. We forgot to tell him to stay. And you jump off?
We forgot to tell him to stay, but it also the thing also changed. So it always had an end screen button, and now I wasn't seeing the end screen
Oh,
button.
okay.
So I'm not sure, but so
Okay.
I just kind of closed off the
Closed
window.
it. Okay, okay. Because I was sitting